Objectives. At the end of the webinar, the student respondents are expected to be informed on the concept and importance of social interaction in today's situation, be enlightened on matters about social interaction, appreciate the importance of social interaction and its importance to our life. Rational. This webinar focuses on the impact and importance of social interaction for students, especially in this time of the new normal, wherein most of us were still adjusting to its changes and effects. The researchers aim to educate our students on matters about social interaction, from what should they know to what they can do. This webinar also aims to inculcate to its audience the lasting effect of having knowledge on the concept and importance of social interaction. Good morning, teachers and classmates. I am honored to introduce to you our speaker for today. He was once an Ildefonso or elementary teacher in SIC way back 2012 to 2013. He has been professional teachers for 11 years here in our country and now serving and teaching in the United States of America as special education teacher in English and mathematics for middle school students. He was also my advisor in elementary, Mr. R.P. Castalone.
Okay, thank you so much, Rania. Have you seen my PowerPoint?
Yes po.
Yes, Lord. Okay, so good morning, everyone. So good evening here. So before we start to our discussion, let me introduce again myself. I am Mr. R.P. Castellone from Halayhayin, Pidilla Rizal. And currently I am teaching here in United States of America as a special education teacher in middle school. So, as what have you heard, I've been teaching in Ildefonso College way back 2012 to 2013 as elementary teacher. So, it's like San Ildefonso College is in my heart, and I've been part of the history of San Ildefonso College. So, I want to say thank you to the people who invited me for this short webinar headed by the group of Rainier Monte Alegre. Thank you so much. And please extend my thanks to your advisors for allowing me to be part of this webinar. All right. So, as what Rainier mentioned a while back, the main goal of this webinar is to give you an insight about the psychosocial or social interaction and the effects of we are having the social interaction all over the world. We are having this social interaction in your environment. You are having this social interaction in your school. So I made this PowerPoint more in a positive way because I want you to look for the positive side of having this psychosocial in our environment. Okay, so the title of my PowerPoint or my topic is a photograph of the future. Is it hybrid education, modern people, and socially structured environment? So why is it hybrid education? So as we have experienced this time of pandemic, we are under distance learning or online education, or if we put all together this online and distance learning, we are experiencing hybrid education. It's like flexible. Then Why is it modern people? In our generation, we people or you students for this generation are modernized already. We are in a modern society, so we are modern people. Then the last one is socially structured environment. So because the main topic is the effects of social interaction, and that includes the structured environment. Okay, so basically, our lesson for today is about psychosocial. Okay, so let me start this webinar with this simple quote by William Gibson: "The future is already here. It is just not evenly distributed." Now, what's the connection of this particular quote in the word psychosocial? I want you to have this idea that psychosocial is very risky, but I want you to look for the positive side of it. So let's use this social interaction or social media in a positive way, wherein you can check the positive effects on it as a person, as a student. Okay, so we will be discussing the future of work, the future of teaching and learning, and what will be the next to do after this social um, time that we are facing. Okay, so I'm going to call somebody. So as you can see, there is a picture word. Who can volunteer and name one word that you can see and explain why is it important to you? Anyone? Okay, can you just say name one word from this picture? Hi,
Business po,
are
sir.
you with us? Are you with me? Okay, what word?
Business po.
Business. Okay. So, okay, let me explain why business. So, in the world of social media, we use this for education, we use this for business, we use it for personal reasons. So it's like everything you do about business, you are connected with the social media, and that includes the psychosocial. Aside from business, what else? Okay, so basically, the main focus of this picture word is the word online presence. So all the words that you can see in the middle of the how do you call it, the lens, are connected or combined in one word, which is online presence. Online presence is about we people as this generation are living in a world of technology. We are living in a world of social media. We are living in a world of um, social and psycho. So that is very risky, but I want you to look for the positive side of having this online presence. Okay, then in this time, I think all over the Philippines, we are having this online education, or distance learning, or hybrid education. Now, I have a question. How's your status on this situation of education system? What is your status for having this online education? Volunteer, please. Kahit po Tagalog pwede naman. Ano yung sitwasyon o status ng pag-aaral mo ngayon under ng online education? Ano yung sa tingin mo, anong pakiramdam mo sa pagkakaroon ng online education? At maganda ba siya? Pangit ba siya? Just one answer, please.
Sir.
Yes?
Hello po. For me po, sir, need po natin po ng adjustment po dito po sa online education po. Kasi po, yung iba po hindi pa po sanay when it comes po sa mga technology po. need po natin ma-adapt po talaga siya para po mas lalo po natin matutunan and ma-explore po. Pero po ngayon po napakaganda po talaga niya kasi po nagkakaroon po tayo ng ideas na dati na hindi po natin alam. Ngayon po nage-gain po yung knowledge natin about po sa ano po online. Yun po.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. So your answer showed like there's a positive effect and there's a negative effect. So that's correct. So my question is this: is online education a credible form of learning? So based on your answer, there is a positive way and there's a negative way, but you are more of positive effect of online education. So you are right. Okay. Example. I know having online education is really hard because some of us don't have cell phones, some of us doesn't do not have laptop, or some of us or most of us do not have money for the internet connection, something like that. Then the another side is if we are going to skip a year because we don't like the online education. So it's another question, right? Hindi magiging continuous yung pag-aaral mo kasi kung mag-iis ka kasi dahil ayaw mo ng online education. So on my side as a teacher, whatever the education is, you have to go with the flow. Is it distance learning, online or face-to-face? So basically, in our time, we are doing the hybrid education, and you have nothing to do but to follow the educational system that we have to now, that we have this time. Okay. So basically, there is the positive way. Then, since we are experiencing a lot of social education all over the world, then psychosocial takes place in our environment, in our family, in our school, in everything around you. So I picked a very simple definition of the word psychosocial. So it is about social behavior. Why is it connected with the word behavior? Remember, when we say social, you are socializing with somebody. You are socializing with the environment within in your circle of friends. You are socializing with other people. So, meaning to say, psychosocial is about communicating with other people. Another thing is psychosocial is involving both psychological and social aspects. The word social aspects is about socializing or communicating or relating with other people. Then psychological word it talks about the mind because like for example the word bullying. We have this like cyberbullying, and if we have cyberbullying, it can affect the psychological uh, matter of a person. Okay, so basically we can get this cyberbullying, we can get this bad effects of psychosocial or social interaction, but it always depends on you. Like for example, I am a person who resides in a place full of people. I am a person who is surrounded with bad people. But the thing is, it's always about you on how are you going to interfere, to connect, to relate, or to communicate with other people. So you are the one who will decide if it is bad or good. Of course, we want the good side of it. Okay. Then in the world of social media, we all know there are trendings, there are um, many things happening around you. And these five words that you can see on the screen are very important because it will give you an idea on how are you going to deal with social world, on how are you going to do the social interaction. Okay, so I have here the five mega trends. The first one is the word globalization. We all know in just one click, we can spread news. In just one click, we can spread bad or good news. Okay, so basically, when we say psychosocial, it's not happening only in your place. It's not happening in your country. It's happening all over the world. That's why it's globalization. Okay. Then the second word or the second item is millennials and extreme longevity. The word millennials are referring to you guys because millennials are the youth, are the people who are considered as the, pag-asa ng bayan. Now, why these millennials are trend? Simply because we or you, I mean you, millennials are more exposed when it comes to social media. I know all of you has cell phone. I know all of you has gadgets you use to communicate with your friends, to communicate with your loved ones, to communicate with other people or strangers. So you are trending. That's the point. Then the word extreme longevity, we cannot control how long it is will happen to our lives. Like for example, hindi natin makokontrol kung hanggang saan yun. Okay? Then the word mobility is about um, the word social media. It's like tangible thing. When you put one word in your social media account, it can spread right away. I-delete mo yan in just a second, for sure, mayroong makakakita, may mag-screenshot, may mabasa. So it's like very tangible thing. So you have to be careful of it. Then the next one is the word changing behaviors. I have one example for this one. Changing behaviors. Nababago ba ng social media ang ugali ng isang tao? I have a question, grade 12. Nababago ba ng social media or nababago ba ng paggamit ng social media ang ugali nyo?
Yes po.
In what way? Example, please.
About po sa mga nakikita po naming information. Kumbaga po yung yung nagche-check po kami ng mga information po, then yung mga views po namin na iba po. For example po yung sa mga politicians po, yung mga presidential candidate po.
Right. Exactly. Thank you so much. What's your name, please?
Sheridan po, sir.
Okay, thank you so much for your thoughts or ideas. No, thank you so much. So yeah, the social media or the use of social media can change our behaviors. As for me, I am a teacher. I am a teacher who cannot live without my phone. That's one. It's like um, napapansin ng mga tao na I always use cell phone most of the time. It's like every time, wherever I go, I have my cell phone. Even kahit nga nasa CR, gumagamit ako ng cellphone because it's part of my life. But the thing is, I was able to manage this kind of behavior that I have. Kasi lagi ko sinasabi, whoever people who came in your life, whatever things you do, it's always about you. You will decide kung sa maganda ba or sa masama mo siya gagamitin. Yeah, that's right. Social media can change our behaviors. Like the example that you have mentioned. Like for example, we see a news or video in the Facebook, then maybe you can learn something good or like you can get something bad, then you will apply it in your life. So that is it can change your behavior. Okay. Another example like halimbawa, eto usong-uso to sa mga kabataan. Gagamit na, let's say mag-YouTube, magsa-cellphone, mag-Mobile Legends, something like that. Then, yung uutusan ka pero you cannot, parang di mo siya mabitawan kasi bawal itigil yung laro. Something like that. Simple example, pero it happens, right? So, kahit sabihin mong okay ka, pero when the people saw you na tinatanggihan mo yung nag-uutos sa'yo because you are just playing Mobile Legend, there's another idea. Oh, ba't ganun ang ugali niya? Hindi naman siya sumusunod sa magulang, inuutosan na. So, even you are kind, but in the eyes of many, it's not good, right? So that's the point. It can change your behaviors. Then the last one is technology. We are living in a world of technology in this generation. Why? Kahit nga bata may cellphone na eh. Grades 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, lahat sila may cellphone na. Parang in our generation, kukunti na lang yung taong walang cellphone. And minsan, alarming siya Okay, let me give you a negative side. Kapag ang mga bata ay exposed sa social media, of course, they can see something bad, they can watch something bad tapos gagayahin nila. There are things na panunuorin nila, yung mga nakakatakot tapos maapektan yung kanilang psychological or mental health. Then, and the positive side, kapag na-expose sa mga bata sa social media, they can learn, they can push themselves into something, bright. So yun yung positive side of using or being exposing with technology. All right. So these are the common trends that we have to, to sink in our minds because all these words are connected with the word psychosocial. Once you use your cell phone, you are interacting in the social world. Once you are your attitude being changed because you are using cell phone, psychosocial is there. Okay. Now, so I will not explain this in deeper manner because technology is like, I just want to give you a positive or, wait, I just want you to give you like, what are the good things that you can use with the technology? You can do the cloud computing, automation, robotics. So it's like, yeah, we are exposed with the use of technology, but there is something good in using technology. And I want to put emphasis on that kasi I know there is a robotics in your school, right? So try to use that in your computer. Excuse me. May sumabit sa ngipin ko. Ah. So in here, in this and the yellow side, automation now going beyond routine manufacturing activities has the potential, at least with regard to its technical feasibility, to transform sectors such as healthcare and finance, which involve a substantial share of knowledge work. So in here in Australia, it's like everything can be done by the technology. So it's like the use of technology is really growing. The use of technology is really um, getting high, something like that. Okay. And also, if you're exposed with the technology, I know there's a negative effects, but if you look on the positive side of it, you can be like this one. You can be a web designer, online marketer, office manager, journalist, editor, lawyer, and any kind of course that you can have. So it's like the positivity that you can get when you are exposed with technology. And I want you to use that opportunity to learn. I know, and just in Facebook, I know you can learn something because we can learn. I mean, we can read a lot of news that we can help ourselves to be, brighter. And there's like in watching YouTube, there's a positive way that you can watch. Then in playing Mobile Legend, I think there is a positive factor that you can get, like uh, let's say friendship. So let person in just playing Mobile Legend, there's a positive way, but you have to look for the positive way, not in negative way. Okay. Then the question is, what are the skills and capabilities needed for this future? Come to think of this one, we are in technology. We are in the world of social media. Minsan alarming, minsan maganda. For the next years or for the next generation, kung maganda na yung social media natin, what more sa susunod na generation? Kung high-tech na tayo ngayon, for sure, mas high-tech sila, mas advanced sila. Kung mataas na yung percentage ng makakakuha tayo ng negative sa technology or sa social media, what more for the next generations? Did you get my point? So that is the psychosocial, okay? Okay, this one. So, what are the future of work capabilities? So, since we are exposed with social media, there are many things that we can learn. There are many things that we can get, and there are many things that we can apply in our lives. Not in your studies also, but in your future lives. Okay? Then, these four words are very important: the personal skills, the people skills, applied knowledge, and the workplace skills. Okay, let's explain this one by one. Let's start with this one, personal skills. Personal skill is about the behavioral traits of a person. So you can be a resilience, or you can be a resilient. Resilient means you are trying to turn the negative way, I mean the negative situation into positive situation. That's the mindset. Okay, mindset by mindset. That's okay. So the second one is leading personal or professional learning. The If you want to become a professional person or individual, it's always your personal skills. If you have that kind of personal skills, you can be a professional, and you can like uh, share something that we can learn, or people that can learn from you. Okay, and the third one is the emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, it is not necessarily about mental health. Yeah, it is about mental health, but this emotional intelligence is like on how are you going to manage your psychological. Did you get my point? Then the second one is the people skills. What's the difference of personal skills into people skills? Here in people skill is like social intelligence. Now, when we say people, you are communicating with other people. You are communicating with somebody. Now, in people skill, it's your skill on how are you going to communicate with other people. Like for example, you have friends. There's a good one and there's a negative one. Now I'm this one. If I'm going to talk with the positive one, of course I know what will I do with this positive one. Then the next day I talk to my a negative friend. I know how to manage this one. It's like your people skills. You can talk with a bad one, you can talk with a good one. So it's like how are you going to manage your communication with people. Then the second one is cross cultural competency. From the word cultural, it's like you're exchanging your experience, you are exchanging your environment, you are exchanging your cult, uh, cultural activities. Like for example, meron kang kaibigan na kuripot. Let's say like kuripot. Tapos ikaw naman ay mapagbigay. So it's like you are trying to mix it, then balance it. That's how you do the cross-cultural competency. Then the third one is social or collaboration. Always remember that when you are talking with someone, when you are talking with many people, you are socializing. So the psychosocial word is being taking place. Okay. Then the third one is applied knowledge. So this applied knowledge, it has something to do with how are you going to apply your knowledge. So the first one is novel and adaptive thinking. Now let's say you have the knowledge, you have the thinking skills. So that's the time that you are going to balance what is good and what is bad. As what I have mentioned a while ago, if you're a person who has friends with a bad and good, you have to know how to manage them. Then the second one is cognitive load management. When we say the word cognitive, it talks about our mental health. I mean mental skills or mental ability. Okay? So may mga taong stress, may mga taong hindi kaya ng stress, may mga taong hirap yung lungkot, saya, hirap silang i-manage yun. So if you have the knowledge, you have to know how to manage your mental health. Okay. Then sense making. And do you know the word sense of humor? That word is really, it's a good asset, of course, of a person. So it's like if you have the knowledge, then you should also know how to make things with sense of humor. Okay. Then the last one is the workplace skills. So from the word work, place, it is a place where you are working. So it's like I'm a teacher, then I'm working here in America, in American school. So what I did, since I am the before I was the first Filipino teacher in my school, then what I did, of course, I observed the environment. I observed my students. I observed the system. That is what we call workplace skills. You have to be observant. Observe the people, observe the students, and observe the school environment. That's how you manage your workplace skills. Then, workplace skills, of course, it has something to do with the new media literacy. When you are in the school, let's say in school, I, I, I go to my school, then once I get there, makaka-experience ako ng different forms of social media. But I have to be, the word literacy. I have to use it in a good side. Then design mindset. Why design mindset? I'll give you example. Um, Kapag napunta kasi sa lugar, there are people who are good. There are people who are not good. Okay? Then, the design mindset is you should know the people that you can work with. And you should know the people that you can avoid. That's the meaning of the word mindset. Then the third one is transdisciplinary approaches. When we say the word approaches, it's like on how are you going to approach the people, on how are you going to approach the environment, on how are you going to approach the work. So it's like you have to be skillful on how are you going to talk to the people, do your work. It's like you have to be flexible. Then the fourth one is computational thinking with these new skills. I have a question. Um, let's say you are exposed with in your school with full of social media, full of technology. Now, how are you going to use that in a positive way? Volunteer, please. Hey, are you with me? Hi. Hello, hello. Anyone? Okay, so let me continue. So for this one, future work series for the executive education. So in here, I will not explain it by detail. So it's like, ano yung itsura ng education natin for the next years, for the next generation. So of course, as what I had mentioned a while back, if we are exposed with the technology, of course, mass advance yun. Okay? And this one is an example of how are we going to use the technologies in different forms. So it's like we can use the social media or the technology in many ways. So you can use it for the business, you can use it for the education, or you can use it for your personal reasons. Okay. So the future of teaching and learning. So as what I had mentioned a while back, that the teaching is already in a technological ways. It's like we are using already the technology. Most especially here in America, all the classrooms, all the school here are very modernized because it's like always based in the use of technology. So if you are using technology in your classroom, in your business, of course, the learning will be technologically inclined. Okay, so here, given the potential impact of these trends, what do you believe the future holds for higher education? So, sabi ko nga kanina, if we have a very modernized system of education here, at this time, for sure, in the next generation, we can have a more advanced education system. Okay, so before I end this webinar, Wait. So for this higher education in the future, so academic curricula will become more multidisciplinary, a balanced traditional and online learning. Higher education will need to explore new funding models, student recruitment and retention even more vital. Higher education needs to invest in technology. So basically, the future of our education for the next generations is more technologically inclined and advanced. So what it's like to be the students in the next generation. So in student engagement versus experience. So the word engagement, it is about the outcome of the learner's perceived value of the experience. And the experience are the things that you are experiencing at the present, then you will use it in your life. So this is an example of experience design, predictors of engagement. So the autonomy, mastery, social interaction. So this is very important. Student and faculty interaction. So using the social media, yeah, I can say that there is a good communication or a use of social interaction. There is an active and collaborative learning, and the learning is supported by the technology. So the purpose of this one is, of course, to enrich the educational system and to give us like something new experience. So after this, so where the next? What's the next one? So of course, in your having this technological experience, having exposed with the social media or having experienced different social interactions, of course, you have to plan for yourself on how are you going to manage yourself, plan for the future, and what are the good things to do with this social world. So let me end this webinar with this simple quote by Lao Tzu. Knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. Mastering others is a strength. Mastering yourself is a true power. So this one really it's like it enlightens our minds that we are the ones who make decisions for ourselves. We are the ones who um, create which path of ang pupuntahan natin. So it's always up to you kung anong susundin mo, kung anong gagawin mo. It's like your life rule your life. So it's like, so if you can manage the people around you, if you can manage the things that you are doing, then if you can go with the people in every people that you meet in your life, that's good. Okay, so I think we are over. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for attending this simple webinar, and again, thank you so much to the group who invited me for this one. So yeah, thank you. We're done.
Salamat po.
Thank you po.
Wait lang. Sir, thank you po.
Okay. Okay.
Pa-open cam nga po. Screenshot ko lang.
Thank you so much, everyone. I hope you have learned something from me.
Ayos na, thank you.